The Indian leftist media has viciously slandered me by misrepresenting me, and Vivek Agnihotri and I are going to discuss this important matter. For 20 years, I have helped disaster victims in India, in the Gujarat earthquake where 20,000 people died, in the tsunami of 2004 where over 6,000 people died. I was there with money, with time, with my energy to help people and also to do a report from the ground on how irresponsible foreign religious groups were preying upon victims at a vulnerable time in the guise of helping them, but they were actually converting them. Vivek and I are going to discuss how irresponsible media fails to investigate the serious issues and instead they engage in personal slander and attacks. Please watch this till the very end because important information is being given. Please share with your friends and please subscribe to this channel to stay connected. Namaste folks, I'm on the air with Vivek Agnihotri. He needs no introduction. We are going to discuss the Kerala floods, my take on it, his take on it. Welcome to the show, Vivek.
Hello Rajiv ji, how are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. So Vivek, you put up a very, very interesting 7-part survey on Twitter. And before we go through the results, tell us why you did that.
Rajiv ji, it's been in my mind for a very long time. What happens is, now there is some sort of a trend that whenever an expert says something, all these journalists, a group of journalists, they start lynching that person on Twitter. And they start discrediting the person. They start raising doubts about his credibility. Now, my question is principle-based. It's not people-based. Number one, when an expert speaks, somebody who has spent time in army, somebody has spent time in specializing in cancer, somebody who has specialized in economics. Now, you are an expert. When you said, and I saw TV Mohandas Pai, he also agreed and he endorsed your point of view. Then I got worried. A journalist has failed to investigate about the forces who I call urban Naxals and you call Breaking India forces, but objective is the same. When they have failed to 50 years Naxalism is going on, they fail to do any good reporting on that. Kashmir, they can't report. Now, if we are reporting, they are enemies of India who are trying to break India, and you have been working on this for a long time. You have spent your personal money on this. You run a foundation. You have done more than hundreds of speeches on this. The whole world says, yes, you have some point of view. Your book is a bestseller. This guy has not read your book. He doesn't know anything about it. He comes and he says blah, 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 blah. And this guy knows nothing. And they crack dirty jokes. Then I said, okay, let me just conduct a small interview. It was in good humor just to prove a point that most of the people do not agree with these people. They should be exposed. Okay, he can bring in more facts.
So I'm going to go through Vivek's, and we'll put them on the screen, the questions he asked and the final results, which is very, very interesting. And I really thank him because I think he's brought out some important points. He says, if a Breaking India Forces specialist and India lover Rajiv Message questions the intent of India's enemies, should we appreciate him or abuse him? And 94% said he has a right. That's interesting. That's very good support. The next question is Rajiv Message wrong in questioning the intent of some malicious donations and ill-intended pleas for help? And 79% say no, Rajiv is not wrong in asking these questions. Then his question is, do you think everyone who's talking about Kerala flood relief has noble intent? And 87% say no, not everybody who is discussing this issue has noble intent towards the people of Kerala. The next question is, do you think that everyone who donates is doing it for the love of humanity, or some for their community and some using this tragedy to break India? That's very important. In other words, are some people donating for the Breaking India forces to do their mischief? 91% says they agree with the statement, with saints, some are thieves. So with the saints, meaning those who are donating with good intentions, there are also some thieves. Then the question, do you think we should ignore our internal security just because someone is talking about compassion, empathy, help, humanity? Shouldn't their credentials and agenda be checked? And 94% agree, saying yes, the credentials and agendas of these people who are claiming to help should be checked. And then the final one, which is very, very telling, because this negative article slandering me came in News Laundry, which claims to be a neutral thing, neutral journalism. So he asked a very pointed question. Who is really passionate about India's security and well-being? Who really cares about India? And he's given two choices. One is me and the other is News Laundry, because News Laundry is the media that published this very trashy article about me. 87% support Rajiv Message, which is my Twitter handle, and 13% support News Laundry. So that's a pretty good indicator of public opinion. And I think one of the things it tells us is that the media are not speaking for the public anymore. What do you think of that, Vivek, that the public says something, media keeps talking something else, and there is a disconnect between the two?
See, when we say media, Rajiv ji, generally we also include a lot of brokers in that, power brokers, money brokers,
Yes.
all kinds of brokers in that. What happened in last 10 years during the regime of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi? I'll tell you what exactly happened. That when you have a mediocre leader, they want to create an ecosystem of mediocre people so that they can survive. And in that order, every Tom, Dick and Harry started a shop calling themselves journalists. People, how much time they have spent in journalism, what kind of journalism they have practiced, what are their credentials. The real journalists are right now working day and night at a meager salary of 20, 30, 40,000 rupees in scorching heat, traveling in local buses and doing local reporting. These people who are sitting in Lutyens, they think that anybody who talks about India, anybody who talks about Hindu civilization and its greatness, anybody who talks about middle class, small town people, they don't know nothing. And they start attacking them because when Rajivji, you come with facts, you've got a book behind you, many books behind you. Now I have got a book. Now I know exactly how you must have, what you have gone through. These people lynch you. They want to discredit you. They want to character assassinate you. They do all kinds of things. So these are not journalists. These are actually directly or indirectly part of a big nexus where the main objective is to somehow stop India's success story.
And you've called them urban Naxals, a brilliant term. Congratulations for that. That's a very important term.
See, urban Naxals are those who are funded by the extortion money which comes in. These Naxals in jungle extort poor people, and then they send this money for legal activism, social activism, this kind of activism, media activism. When people like you and I speak, what are we speaking for, Rajiv ji? We are speaking about the security of India. We are not asking for money. We are not asking for position. We are getting threats. I've got so many legal cases against me now. Why are we doing it? For the love and passion of our country? Should they be celebrating us? Should they be listening to us? Or at least having a discussion with us, or just discredit? So when you asked a pertinent question, I don't think any harm. See, whenever there is a chaos, I was in Delhi when Rajiv Gandhi got so many thousands of Sardar Sikhs killed. I was in Delhi. At that time, believe you me, in that tragedy, all Congress goons were doing was looting local kirana shops. I have seen them stealing television sets, their pictures out in media. They have stolen TV sets, fridge, carpets, whatever they found, they have stolen. So in great tragedies, thieves also come. There have to be some people like you and me who question these thieves. And there is nothing wrong in it. It's a principled questioner I did.
Very good. So now Abhinandan Sekhri writes a very kind of insulting tweet, avoiding the whole issue that his News Laundry has done a very one-sided, bad, poor journalism job. And basically, in this tweet, he's making fun of the fact that I did not give him credit as CEO. I thought somebody else is the CEO, but actually he wants to say he is the CEO and calling me low IQ and all these kind of slander. Now, this is very sad and immature attitude because whether he's CEO or not, Arey bhai Abhinandan, we can say you are CEO, you are the big boss, fine. That's just a petty point. But he has completely ignored the issues we raised regarding the Kerala flood and more about attacking personally, ad hominem attacks, just making the point that, he's the CEO and he's the boss and we didn't give him proper credit. Now, that's how petty and silly and childish some of these guys are.
Okay, I'll just give you one little example. Abhinandan Sekhri, when my shoulder was broken in Jadavpur University, he wrote rubbish about my film. He said I'm lying. He said this film is rubbish, and he wrote very bad review of the film. And then 3 months later, when film started getting cult status, then editor must have put pressure, go and interview Vivek. So he came to Bombay. I said, I'll interview only, you come to Bombay. He came to Bombay. I said, have you seen the film? So he said, no. So I said, you first see the film. Then on camera, I made him say sorry 3 times that he was wrong. Without seeing the film, he wrote a review. These are corrupt journalists. He knows exactly how he got exposed in front of me. Problem is that these people try to discredit a very serious issue. I know, I was in US. I met so many thought leaders, so many activists. Everybody told me how much money is raised. You know, Rajiv, in US, so much money is raised for humanity and poverty. And where does that money go? That money is being used for all these leftists, communists, and the entire communist Islamic bloc to create chaos in India, to create anarchy in India, so that the growth story of India can be stopped.
Yeah,
and India can be divided.
Yeah, you see, when this Kerala flood fundraising started in US, I did not take a position randomly. I called some of these fundraising organizations and said, I'd like to do some due diligence. I want you to come on camera and give assurance that every dollar raised will go to the victims in Kerala, because in the 2004 tsunami, when people like World Vision raised a lot of money, a majority of it did not reach the victims. It was used for other things, evangelism and so on. Yeah. And I told them that I want you to come and promise that no money will be used for proselytizing, and whatever money is left over, majority of the money, by the way, does not get used during the main disaster. It is left over for after the fact recovery, relief for people later on. And that is where the mischief starts. I mean, they use 20 cents out of each dollar during the crisis. The rest, they keep it for building the church and buying getting new evangelists on the payroll and all that. So I wanted somebody to come, these people to come on camera and give me the assurance. They were not willing to do that. And they're just not interested in doing that. So I've even gone behind the scenes and checked out some of their discussions. They are looking at this as a big opportunity for them to come and do their Breaking India mischief. So people like you and me, it is important that we ought to be investigating now while the evidence is hot. And we cannot say that, okay, in the moment of crisis, let's not do some serious investigative work. And here I want to tell you, people have criticized me, and I want your opinion on this. People have criticized me saying that now is not a good time to be talking about this because we are in crisis. So let me give you a few examples. The cricket match in England is continuing. There is nobody saying don't play cricket because people in Kerala are suffering. We are rejoicing that India's cricket team as of yesterday is doing very well in the 3rd test. Nobody is saying that these cricketers who make hundreds of crores, some of them, should actually donate their money from the entire series to Kerala. Nobody is saying that. Nobody is saying, you know, yesterday was the highest level of Sensex closing in the history of Indian stock market. So the rich are getting very rich and celebrating it. And the whole financial media is great talking about it. Nobody said, let's take 10% of all the money we made in the last month in Sensex and just donate it. Nobody said that. But life goes on for all those people. Now the most interesting part of it is, there is a World Malayali conference going on in Germany. Now these are people of Kerala. Shashi Tharoor, who is one of their faces, world international face of Kerala, he's there. So when they were asked, when Shashi Tharoor was asked, what are you doing here while your people in Kerala are suffering, there's a headline with his picture there saying that my physical presence in Kerala is not needed to do this work. So you see, life goes on for all these different kinds of people. Yet when investigative people like us are raising serious issues about the matter on the ground, we are told don't do any of this. But other segments of society, frivolous as they are, sensational, theatrical as they are, life goes on and they are not being questioned. Do you see a double standard that why are we supposed to stop doing our work in order to express sympathy, emotional support and all that, which we do have, we do want to express that, while all these other segments of society just go on as usual?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, they are so used to fake posturing, right? Absolutely fake posturing. Forget about these things. They have no idea. Most of the people who are crying for Kerala, you'll find them 6 months later, they'll start cracking jokes there. As far as the cricket match is concerned, Rajiv ji, If the match was in Nagpur, then this entire gang would have cried that match should be stopped. Right? Same
Right.
Shashi Tharoor,
Right.
same Shashi Tharoor. Recently, we had in Pondicherry a literature festival. All these progressive writers, they destroyed or they tried to destroy the festival. These people, that is, see, everybody now they're getting exposed, Rajiv. The problem is, it's a very serious issue. They have to understand. Hindu civilization is one of the strongest, longest surviving civilization. These people, instead of looking at their strengths and taking pride in it, what they are doing is the people who are working hard to send out the message that yes, we are in danger and our civilization is one of the greatest civilizations. They are trying to demoralize them. They are trying to discredit them. They are trying to lynch them. They are trying to ridicule them. Why? Because they are scared of people who come with a lot of information and research. You have spent your almost most of your life doing this research. I have given 10 years. Do they understand the kind of sacrifice, the kind of knowledge, the kind of hard work you have to do for this? Is it easy to dig information which is not there? So before questioning anyone, all these people should at least listen to another point of view. And on the other hand, they talk about freedom of speech. They are hypocrites. And they are not hypocrites. They are corrupt people. They are ethically, morally corrupt people. That's my thing. So life goes on, yes. And this time, I think, Rajiv ji, you have the duty, your aapka dharma, your kartavya, my dharma, my kartavya is towards the nation. There are experts, armies working there, experts are working there, people, government of India is funding. However much money I try to give will not be enough for the work which we can do with our expertise. And that is to save India from thieves. I know it for sure. I was in US for 1 month. Rajiv ji, it's a very big mafia. All these tragedies are used, A, for propelling their own agendas, whatever agendas they have, and corrupt people take most of the money. These politicians, trust me, a lot of people working with Shashi Tharoor, the minute flood is gone, they all of them, nobody will do any humanity work. They will take government permissions, open this fala flood charity work or humanity work or seva and all those things. And in that, you and I both know what is going to happen. I'm not saying it clearly, but every single citizen of India knows what happens after relief. I have been involved with Bhopal Gas Relief Fund. We raised a lot of money. We gave it to government people, and I know exactly what happened. All those people who were responsible for creating chaos, they took all the money.
You know,
So you are doing a noble job.
This is fantastic, Vivek. I just want people to know that in the 2001 Gujarat earthquake, where thousands of people died, it was a huge calamity. In the New York Times, they made a list of charities that, because it was big news and the public in America wanted to help. So there was New York Times gave a list of charities where you can send your donations. There was not one single Hindu charity. They were all Western charities listed so the public could donate there. I went and had a big encounter with the New York Times journalist, and I said, what about Swami Narayan? What about, I gave a list of a lot of these organizations that are doing very good work in Gujarat. They were doing actually the real hard work on the ground. And they said, we don't know enough about them, we haven't checked them out. So they gave me all this double talk. I was quite upset at what happened, and I did my own fundraiser and made sure that our money reached the right people in Gujarat through these kinds of organizations. Then in 2004 was this tsunami in Tamil Nadu. Again, a very large number of people died. So Swami Dayanand Saraswati calls me and says, I want you to go spend some time there, take responsibility, set up things for from our point of view for charity to go reaching the right people. And Swamiji runs, he's no more, but his organization was called Aim for Seva. And they go to these areas and start their own programs. Infinity Foundation sponsored a youth hostel for tsunami orphans in Nagapattinam district and provided the entire funding. Now the land for this youth hostel, the government of Tamil Nadu would not give it to Swamiji. They were giving it to Christian organizations only. That's the politics there. So Swamiji had to go to Serudar village, one village, and the panchayat of the village said, we will give our panchayat lands for you to build this youth hostel because we do not want to have no option but to convert in a large scale, to all of us having to convert, which would have been their only option. So I went there. In 2005 we gave them this money. In 2006 I'll put up a picture. The villagers felicitated me. We did a foundation stone, and in 2007 the youth hostel was ready, operational. It's a multi-story building, fantastic building. You can go and look at it. So we have done this kind of work, and I have the experience of not only putting my money where my mouth is, but looking at the local politics, tracking what these people are doing against our civilization. So I went and spent 3 months with a camera crew. Some local people donated a few cars and camera crew and people like that to help me. And we went around, lived with the villages, and I have a 30-minute documentary which is on my YouTube channel called Tsunami: The Untold Stories. Now,
Okay.
this is something which I did. So I have experience, I have data. So I know what World Vision was claiming and doing fundraising and what they were actually doing on the ground. Two different stories. And none of our media people had the courage and clarity to go and check it out. I did that. It was very unpopular.
Right.
Now you see, now I'm 68, I can't go do all the same running around. I would really like some young, honest journalists to go behind the scenes and see what some of these foreign funded NGOs are really up to. And they will be amazed at what all they will discover. And this is the story that ought to come out. This is what I want to come out, and this is why they're trying to shut me up.
Absolutely. And when Chennai floods happened, you remember the same set of people, they started talking about humanity and all those kind of things. Has any journalist gone and figured out all the relief fund which came for Chennai? Has it been used properly? Nobody. So you stole my words. In fact, I was going to tell on your show that if any young boy or girl or a group of boys or girls, journalists or non-journalists, but if they have a research bent of mind, investigation, if they want to do a research on what happens to relief funds in India, I am willing to sponsor it. I'm saying it through your show. And Rajiv ji, we can mentor them, supervise. They should go and figure out what exactly happens. This relief fund is a very big mafia. People do not understand. This is used for
brilliant.
Terrorism.
No, yes,
You know
this
this
is
is used for
brilliant.
terrorism.
Absolutely. So, Vivek, this is brilliant. So, here is my offer to join with this. Infinity Foundation will fund the expense. We will raise the money however it takes. We will fund such investigative work if you manage the process, because I don't have the bandwidth to do the research. If young people are interested, they should write to me. They should write to go to the website Infinity Foundation. Send us your bio, and if you are willing to come and do this, I will put you in touch with Vivek. He can select the team. We will fund these people, and Vivek will manage them and produce some output, produce some film. This will be very good, and we'll do it jointly.
Okay, and I offer, I Am Buddha will produce a documentary on this, and I will mentor these people. And this is, Rajiv, it's very spontaneous. Both of us come, and
Yes.
we will. I'm very serious because this is my service to the society. I want to understand what happens to these funds after the water is gone.
Yes, yes. And my experience in both the 2001 earthquake and the 2004 tsunami was that the people who raised a lot of money, they spent 25% during the crisis. 75% they say we are saving it for rebuilding the lives of people and all that, which sounds very good. But then that rebuilding the lives is done as per their own ideology. They are converting these people ideologically, and that's what the real big money is spent on. In the meantime, all the emotions are gone. Nobody is bothered. People have moved on to the next sensation. The media is abandoned, and that's when the real problems start. So we have to investigate, and so let's close with this commitment that you and I will work together. If young people are available, we'll make the funds available, and Vivek will mentor them and lead the process, and his production company will make a film on it. And that's a constructive thing to do, rather than this rabble-rousing sensationalism that some of these dishonest media people are doing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vivek, for being on the show. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And in the midst of a crisis, we should not stop clear thinking, and we should not stop being investigative and rational, because a lot of good logical work also has to be done. So while it's important to have compassion towards other people and help them, it's also important to keep a clear head and think about the future for all these people. Thank you.
So like I say, like Rajiv ji, I say, with saints come thieves. So some people should welcome saints, and some people's job should be to check out on the thieves. I think both of us are trying to do that. And thank you very much for talking to me.
Wonderful.